All right, good afternoon. I want to say to God be the glory, and want to appreciate all the opportunity that He gives us. I first want to start out before we get into the game. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the unfortunately tragic incident that occurred there at the Smith Mountain Lake of the WDBJ 7 of Allison Parker and Adam Ward, unfortunately, their death. And just want to make an announcement that we're going to wear a decal, a helmet decal on our helmets in honor of them for the unfortunate situation. So again, our condolences, our prayers continue to go out to all the families of everyone involved, and obviously the TV station there at Channel 7, WDBJ. So we appreciate that. And it's just going to be a one-game deal as far as the sticker, just be the Delaware State game. We're very excited here to be in the first ball game in my 4 years here now. That'll be the first opportunity that we're going to have to play a home game, the first game of the season, to play at home in front of our fantastic crowd, our fantastic fans. They're just so great in their energy and their excitement and the way they go about doing things for us. So I know that I'm excited. I know our coaching staff, I know our players are ready to play a football game in front of our home crowd. Delaware State, again, it's a lot of unknown about this football team. They have a new head football coach. They have a new staff. And so we're kind of watching a whole lot of different videos of all different teams and where they have come from. Start off with the head coach, Kenny Carter. Again, they're from the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference as far as Delaware State. He's a person who has been involved with a lot of good football coaches. He's been involved with, last year he was with Youngstown State. Before that, he was with Charlie Strong at Louisville, I think for 2 to 3 years. Then before that, he was with Urban Meyer at Florida. And then before that, even down the road, he was with Joe Paterno. So he's been around a lot of good football coaches as far as how to teach the game, play the game, and do it in a great way. So I know that he's going to do a great job with their players. Offensively, I think the one thing that stands out with them, their offensive coordinator named Coach Allen. He came from Lock Haven. Two things. One is their offensive line has a lot of depth, a lot of experience. I think they got 7, 8, 9 guys that have played a lot of football. I think 4 of them have played, started just about the last 2 years. So when you have a good offensive line, when you have depth in your offensive line, that's a great start. Also, the running backs, they have a lot of depth at running back. They have a lot of different people there at that position on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're still trying to figure out the quarterback situation. Defensively, one guy that stands out, a guy by the name of Tarek Colson, a safety. This guy has 7 interceptions. He had 5 fumble recoveries, almost leading the team in tackles, and a preseason All-MEAC player. So he definitely plays well, has good talent, good size, 6'1", about 200 pounds, runs all over the place in the field. He can hit and do a lot of good things there. So he is a talented player. Their defensive coordinator came from Youngstown State, from there, Coach Bryant. So, again, I know that their team is going to be ready to play. I'm going to go here toward freshmen that we're not going to redshirt going into this season. Will Brown, Jeremy Peters, Cam Jones, Jawan Wells, Dante Duff, and Damian King will be the 6 guys that that are true freshmen that we're planning on playing this football season and not redshirting. On the injury report, really James Passmore, which I can't remember if I had mentioned early on before or not, he is out for the season. As far as James Passmore, an offensive lineman, would have been a redshirt freshman for us. Then also Will Smith, an offensive lineman, he is out indefinitely. We're just going to come to see him if at some point in time that he may be able to play or not. I don't know, but doesn't necessarily look like he may be able to play this year, but we'll just going to say at this time he's out indefinitely. The keys to the game, I think from my perspective, as I'm going to talk to our football team, is really I look about as far as turnovers. You always hear about that. I want to have 1 or less turnovers. That's something that I want to see our team do right from the start as far as offensively and special teams. Because obviously on special teams you're handling the football and things can happen on return games. So I want to hopefully that we can have 1 or less turnovers. And defensively I want us to gain 3 or more turnovers in this ball game. So those are some specific things that I want us to do. Then the other part on special teams, no big plays that we give up on special teams. Hopefully that they don't have any return game of any nature where they have some success. And unfortunately, probably the one area that's been very disappointing for me as being here for 3 years is our return game. I hope that we will have a big play out of our return game, punt return, kickoff return, of anything of that nature. So I'll hopefully we can get that accomplished in this ball game. So I think if we can do those things, I think we can have a great chance to be successful in this game. Open up to some questions.
Defensively, Coach, you implemented the spur position. How has that transition gone?
I think it's gone well. I think the spur position, you can call it all kind of names of that nature, but I think the reason why we kind of made the adjustment is we want to hit faster on the defensive side of the ball. It's really more about a body type that we were looking for, a guy that's a little bit more of a DB type of a body versus having a linebacker type of body. It helped us in personnel. Whenever the offense changed personnel, we don't have to change personnel groupings and bringing in a defensive back or bringing in a bigger guy. So we can play with them no matter what the personnel grouping, meaning if they have 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, we can change personnel, or if they end up having 4 wide receivers, no tight ends, and no running backs, we can keep our same personnel on the game. So therefore, it's going to make us be more advantageous to get our calls in quicker, advantageous to get lined up better. So we always want to talk about it, as I've always talked about when I hired really Coach Wimberly. I said, I want our defense to be fast. I want them to see them be able to run. And so this even helps us to get that opportunity to be more faster on the defensive side of the ball.
Coach, how will you split your carries at running back, Des Rice, DJ Abner? Do you have any idea how you're going to approach that this week?
We'll talk about it toward the end of the week. They're both going to play quite a bit. And so I know that they're very, very good football players. So we're going to need them both throughout this whole football season. And may ask the question, well, the starting position, does that matter? It doesn't matter to me as a coach. It might matter a little bit to the individuals. We'll kind of take it week by week. It could change, and it may not ever change. But we'll take it week by week as who's going to start. But they're both going to play quite a bit, and we're glad that they're on our football team.
I know you like to go 8 deep on the offensive line generally. I mean, who are some of the guys, I know that with the injuries and everything, defections, the depth has been hit there, who are some of the guys behind the starters that they could really make it?
Oh, I'd probably say if probably any injury occurs at any position at this point in time, Campbell would be the guy that would go into. The only position that he wouldn't go into would be center. He could play all the 4 positions, left guard, left tackle, right tackle. Fox would probably be the other guy that would be a guard position as far as that goes of that nature. So that'll be about the 5, 6, 7 guys right now that I'd say that we feel really, really good about. The 8th and the 9th guy, it can be interchangeable as far as that goes. We saw we got Bienfier DeLeese, which was a defensive lineman. We moved him to offensive line. He is now playing the guard position. Greg Story, who's a redshirt freshman, probably going to be a little bit more of a tackle. He could play both guard and tackle. So as far as the 8th and 9th guy, I think it all depends on who gets injured and how we finagle that as far as at the time when an injury may occur.
How impressed are you with the strides that B.J. Farrow has made at receiver, and are you surprised that he's come as far as he has this year?
Very surprised, really for the main reason more about just because he missed all of fall and he missed all of spring. I mean, he didn't really practice with us at all. Unfortunately, in the spring there, he got hurt and he just wasn't able to perform. I think he practiced like the first 2 or 3 days and wasn't able to finish. So to see him come along and be able to gather up our formations, our plays, our concepts, and then somewhat of a physical blocker. He's always had great hands and been able to do all those things, but he's really accommodated himself very well in our offense, and so we anticipate him having an outstanding year. Obviously, Dante Shales is in the mix and all that too, so we feel pretty good about going into the season with our receiving corps. That was somewhat of a question mark depth-wise. Were we going to have enough guys? Hopefully, we like to have 4 to 5 receivers that we feel like we can put in a football game at any given time. I think we're at that point. Kyle Carings is another young man that's coming in and doing some good things there for us too. So we feel pretty good going into the season at this time.
Coach, you talked about this game being at home and that being an exciting thing for you, but it's also against a team you guys don't have any history with. And with the next 2 games being big games on the schedule, both home and away, do you see the guys looking past this one at all in any way, or are they really just focused to play this home opener?
I know they're excited to play a football game. It probably wouldn't even matter what the name of the team was or where we were playing, to be honest with you, but it is exciting to play at home. And so I really don't have any concerns about our guys looking ahead or anticipating this, that, and the other. They're ready to play a football game and ready to play the best game that they can, and obviously here in front of our crowd, and we're excited about it.
I know you had said that early on in camp you were impressed with the secondary and the way that they were in position and making plays back there. Did you continue to see them grow throughout the rest of camp and now heading into the opener?
They've really continued to improve. I think Coach Roberts and Coach Wembley, that coaches our secondaries. Coach Wembley primarily coaches the safeties, and Coach Roberts handles the corners, but they oversee it overall. I really have been good about the corners. I think we got 4 to 5 guys that we feel pretty good about, that we can play the boundary corner, the field corner, and all those type of things. And Holloway, Guillory, and even the young guy Peters is going to be a guy that's going to be in the mix as far as they go. Chris Turner, who you haven't heard about, a redshirt guy that we had last year, Wesley Scott. So those 4 or 5 guys there, we feel very confident to put them in the ball game and making plays. Alpha Jallo at the safety spot. I think him and Avery James going to do a great job there. And we got Cam Jones going to be in the mix there a little bit. And we also got Cam Jackson. So I think we feel pretty good about it all. Now we got to wait and see on game day. Do they respond like we see them responding in practice?
You touched on it a little bit earlier, but what are the biggest challenges to dealing with the unknown of Delaware State, of their coaching staff, of their athletes? Do you still look at film from last year to kind of get an idea of what the players look like on the field? Yeah,
we look at last year's Delaware State's film so we can know their personnel, what their talent they may have and what we thought that they could do well. And then you look at all the other games as far as where they have coached scheme-wise. They coached at Youngstown State, they've been at Louisville. So you look at some of those tapes to see scheme-wise what they're going to do. Again, guy may still do his own thing as being a coordinator or head football coach, but we definitely have looked at Delaware State from their personnel-wise to get an idea of what they can do and their talent.